This is National Native News. I'm Antonia Gonzalez. Montana lawmakers are considering a bill to honor Native Americans by establishing Indigenous Peoples Day with a state holiday. The bill seeks to remove Columbus Day and add Indigenous Peoples Day in November, the day before Thanksgiving. Representative Shane Morgeau testified about his bill Thursday in a House committee, saying it's hurtful to celebrate Columbus due to the atrocities committed against Native people. He says instead the state should recognize the cultural heritage of Indigenous people. The Native American Caucus spoke in support of the bill, as well as members from the Native American community. Opponents who spoke asked to share the holiday, including a representative from the Montana Knights of Columbus who called for forgiveness on all sides. Another concern raised during the hearing was more time off in the state by adding another holiday. State lawmakers in Nebraska are considering legislation to address missing and murdered Indigenous women. The bill recently introduced by Senator Tom Brewer calls for a study and data collection by the State Patrol. It would require the State Patrol to work with tribal, local, and federal agencies to identify barriers, examine ways to provide state resources to address the issue, and recommendations to improve the reporting of missing Native American women in Nebraska. Other states are considering similar legislation, including in Washington. A bill was introduced last week to build upon 2018 legislation on missing and murdered Native women. A Native women's advocacy group says they have not seen any of the royalty money they were promised by the director of the 2017 film Wind River. The Weinstein Company distributed the film, but since then the company was bought. Wyoming Public Radio's Melody Edwards reports.
The film Wind River was about the rape and murder of a northern Arapaho woman, and it came out just before Harvey Weinstein, the film's distributing company owner, was accused of sexual assault by numerous women. That's when the film's director, Taylor Sheridan, announced that he would donate distribution royalties to the nonprofit National Indigenous Women's Resource Center in Montana. The Weinstein Company was bought out by Lantern Entertainment, and the advocacy group says it's unclear whether that company will honor the promise to donate all royalties from the film. The National Indigenous Women's Resource Center is among many entities that are caught up in the financial woes that Lantern inherited, and it's questionable whether they'll ever see any of what they were promised. The Weinstein Company declared bankruptcy, clearing them of any obligation to stand by the promise. The advocacy group says they continue to remain in good communication with Director Taylor Sheridan and his staff. For National Native News, I'm Melody Edwards.
Tribal lands went through some of the coldest weather this week with a polar vortex. As South Dakota Public Broadcasting's Gary Ellenbolt reports, conditions will briefly change.
Hundreds of record lows were recorded in the area of the polar vortex this week. Sisseton, South Dakota, on land belonging to the Sisseton-Wahpeton Oyate, had a wind chill reading of 71 degrees below zero Tuesday night. National Weather Service meteorologist Janice Maldonado says some people in the Midwest will see a large temperature rebound this weekend. Maldonado says the warmth will extend through Saturday and into a good part of Sunday.
We are expecting a wintry mix of precipitation as the next system is expecting to move through the area. And after that system, behind that system, we are expecting another round of very cold temperature, going back again into the single digits.
Maldonado says the colder period should extend through most of next week, with the most bitterly cold weather predicted for Wednesday and Thursday. For National Native News, I'm Gary Ellenbolt.
And I'm Antonia Gonzalez.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Kiwanis Broadcast Corporation. Funding is provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite Service.
Support by the American Indian Higher Education Consortium, gateway to tribal colleges created by and for American Indians, accredited and local, with certificate programs to master's degree programs. Info at aihec.org. Support for law and justice-related programming provided by Hobbs, Strauss, Dean & Walker, LLP, a national law firm dedicated to promoting and defending tribal rights for more than 30 years. More information available at hobbsstrauss.com.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.